Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today you are looking at a version of the baby book by John Morton, and this one is also done by Stephen Young. So this is a variation of the baby book, which I find very fun and very cool. So I can't wait to talk about it to you. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about the baby book. Now, what is the baby book? If you haven't seen John Morton's presentation of the baby book, you're essentially able to either get the word or the image that a spectator is merely thinking of among a set of other images. So in terms of performance, how I perform it is, first of all, you ask a spectator to open to a random page and look at the big image, then to give you 4 out of the 9 pictures next to it, where one of the 4 is, of course, their picture. And then you're able to guess what their main picture is. You divide it, you can either write the name of it, you can just divide it without anything, or you can do a drawing duplication. But personally, I write the name. Then I ask him to pass it to 2 spectators sitting together, so one next to each other. They then open the book, and one spectator remembers the image to the right, one spectator remembers the image to the left, right? So they would remember right and left. You ask one spectator to do it, to look at their image and tell you all the 9 pictures in the image, but jumbled up in any order that they want. Because before, they may think that 4, it was just a guess. But among 9, the impossibility gets higher. So they would go among the 9, they would tell you all the 9 images, and then I would write the word that corresponds to their image. So for example, if we just take it here, I'll write cat if I know that he's thinking of cat. And then I take it the last step further, and I'll tell the other spectator that for him, we're going to do this without him ever saying a word. So he's not going to say any of the images, nothing, just to think of it and try and picture it as a drawing. And then I do a drawing duplication and I reveal. That is how I would perform this version of the baby book. So now that you know kind of what this does and what does it achieve, where do you buy this? How much does it cost? And what do you get? So I did mention before that this is a version of the baby book, and I kind of want to clear this out. This is not the original baby book that John Morton presents on Fool Us. This is a variation of it. I believe that Stephen Young decided to work in collaboration with John Morton to change it up a bit and try and do a different presentation to it. So this is not the original one, because this one is cheaper, and I can't really contrast it with the original baby book. But I do think that the original one is thicker and it's bigger and it has more pages than this one. But again, this is just speculation because I don't own it. I just own this one. But I do think methodologically they work the same. This one has an added effect into it, but I do think that it is a smaller book compared to the other one. But nonetheless, I just wanted to make a distinction that when you order, if you go online and you order the baby book at major retailers such as Vanishing Ink, ALAKAZAM, wherever you want, you will get the John Morton version that he did on Fool Us. But if you purchase this from MindFX, you are getting this version, okay? So I just wanted to make the distinction clear that these are 2 different versions. But I will be reviewing the one by MindFX. So where do you buy this? Well, you buy this at mindfx.co.uk. This will set you back £39, which is approximately around 62 Canadian dollars. And also I think that would be around $50 US around that price range. I think around $50 US or 45 USD for US customers. So that's what's this costs. Then what do you get? Well, you get the book, which is a hardbound book, right? With the pages that are, I think, that are really good quality, and then you get your images, and this is what the book looks like, okay? I've counted, there's 26 pages inside of this book, right? So there's 26 pages, and they're really good quality. Okay, so the book is really good quality, and then you also get this, the book comes in this, and you get your instructions on this. There's no instructional video with this version. No instructional video. It's just a small paper inside, and in the paper they give you how this works because it's super simple, and they tell you, you know, the purpose of it and the intricacies of it. So you're not getting any video instructions, you're just getting this paper with the book inside. And yeah, so that is what you're getting, and the book is pretty small. It's around the size of my hand. I have pretty big hands, but as you can see, it's around the size of my hand. It is very small. You could definitely put this in a jacket pocket or something like that. So that is what you're getting. So having talked about that, let's get into difficulty. So is this version difficult? Now again, I can't really tell you about the version by the other version that's more expensive because I don't own it, but I can comment about this one. And this one is relatively easy to perform, but there's two parts to it. If you want to perform the classic version that you do this, as John presented it on Fool Us, then it's super easy to do. As long as the spectator names 2, 3, 4, 5, up until 9 of the pictures, while their pictures is among the set amount of pictures that they reveal to you, then you will be able to know it with no memory work. 0, 0, 0 memory work, okay? There's no memory work involved with this effect at all. You don't have to remember anything for those reveals. So if you want to do just that reveal, no memory work whatsoever. So if you want to have 3 spectators open to different pages and everyone thinks of a different one, and you want to reveal them progressively, 0 memory work, you'll be able to do it like that. However, if you want to do the version where a spectator doesn't say anything, where he doesn't name any objects, doesn't write anything down, doesn't whisper to anyone, literally says nothing except keep the thought in his mind and imagines it as a picture or whatever, without ever opening his mouth and saying anything, then that will require a bit of memory work, Not much, because it's designed really intelligently, but it will require a bit of memory work, okay? So for that version, you will need to learn something to accomplish it. And I really do think it's worth your time because it's super easy. It took me like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes to learn it. It's super easy. And even if you forget it, right, just refreshing yourself, it's super, super easy. And if ever needs be, you can easily have, some help somewhere to get you through it. Okay, but for the second part of that, you will need a bit of memory work, but generally, this is a really easy effect. I would put it beginner to intermediate. Now, let's talk practicality. Is this effect practical to perform? And the answer is yes. Literally, all you need is this book. So you can put this in your jacket pocket or in your backpack, wherever you want. And all you need is this book. You don't need a table. You don't need anything. You don't need pencils. People never have to write anything down. Personally, I prefer doing this in like a parlor stage environment where I have a board and I write on the board and I reveal it progressively on the board, right? Or if you have like business cards or something, just to reveal it in an interesting way. I prefer to have it like on a big board personally, but you don't need to. You can literally just reveal this without a board or anything. You can just have someone open up to a page, look at any of the images, tell you, let's say 5 of them, including theirs, and you'll be able to just reveal it like that, right? Instantly. So practicality is very good because you don't need a table. You can do this standing up, standing down. You don't need extra things with you. You don't need a board. You don't need a pen. You don't need markers. You don't need a notepad. You don't need your billets, nothing. As long as you have this book, you can perform the effect. So literally all you need for this is this book. That's it. So practicality, this is very, very good. And also, since these are images, it's super easy to see. So even if you're in a darker environment or in a not as well lit environment, there's nothing to read here. So the spectator can only look at the images, and the image are going to be seen even in dim lighting. So this is not like a book test where there's some writing where they may not see clearly or they'd have to squint. There's nothing restraining here, no angles, nothing. The book is fully inspectable too. There's nothing to see, right? There's nothing to see here. The book is fully inspectable as well. There's no reset, nothing. So this is really, really good practicality-wise, A1. Now, what about performance environments? So where would you perform this? Well, this is something you can perform literally anywhere. Anywhere. You could do this on stage. You could do this parlor, walk around, table hopping. Because as I mentioned, you don't need anything for this. You could just do this at a moment's notice, right? So it's so good for walk around because this is fun, it's quick. It also involves people, right? The way I do it is with 3 people. I start out like, let's say on the right hand side of the table, I do 1 person, so a singular reveal. And then I say, okay, so we're gonna use both of you for this. Open up wherever you want. One of you is gonna think of the right, one of you of the left. And you're involving different people at the table for this. And it's really fun. It's something interesting. People really play into this, it's like a kid book, it's funny. So yeah, it's really good performing wise because as I mentioned, there's no restrictions, no angles, nothing. you're gonna, this is not a force or anything like that. Every single time you're gonna perform, this is gonna be different. There's gonna be a different reveal every single time. So, it's really good for practicality and where you perform it, because, as I said, you can do the street, parlor, bars, walk around, stage, parlor, table hopping, wherever you want. And also, since this is family friendly, you could do this at a table with kids or something like that. If there's a kid, he's going to enjoy this so much. This is really for all ages and for any performance environment, which is absolutely great. So, having said all of that, what are the positives and negatives of the baby book, this version of the baby book? So, what I like about this version is, let's start with the positives. The positives are, the book is super durable. This is probably going to last you a lifetime, right? This is probably going to last you a lifetime or a very long time at that. It is super thick. The pages are really good. So this is going to last you a long time. It's super easy to do. It's a super fun routine. You could do this to as many spectators as you want at a time. There's no reset. There's nothing to be seen. Fully inspectable book. It's instantly repeatable with different images. You can perform this stage, parlor, but also close up. It's super easy to carry around. Yeah, a lot of positives. Now, what are the negatives of this version of the baby book? Now, the negatives are, one of the negatives is that the book may be, to some spectators, be really small. I don't know if the other version is bigger, but it may be small. There's only 26 pages inside, which means that some people may think, even if you prove them wrong, they may think that, oh, he just memorized the images on the pages and he knows what it is, right? That is a possibility, right? Even though it's really hard, and even if they think that's how you did it, that's still impressive, right? There's 9 images per page times 26. That's beyond my mathematical capabilities of how many images you'd have to memorize, right? So, there's that. So some people may think that, since this is a smaller book. Also, you also are just getting, instructions on paper. You're not getting any video or anything like that with your purchase. But again, this is technically half the price, literally half the price of the other version. So you can expect a few shortcomings here. But even though it's half the price, you do have an additional reveal in it that you don't in the other one. But yeah, those are the positives and negatives of the baby book. Would I recommend the baby book or this version of the baby book? And the answer is yes. Personally, I always wanted to do and buy the baby book, but it was always a bit too expensive for me. So when I saw that MindFX was selling an alternate version with, of course, full consent to John Morton, this is not a ripoff. His name is on it. He's part of the project. This is not some kind of ripoff. So, yes, this fits the box, and it also fits the box of what I wanted to achieve with it, because I wanted to have an effect that builds from something that seems plausible to something that's a bit more implausible to something impossible. Whereas with the original version, there's no way that you can reveal an image without anyone speaking anything out. As far as I'm concerned, there's no possibility to do that with that version. So with this, it's super nice that you have that added extra layer, and it builds the effect for me in 3 parts. And that is what I was looking for. This is have like spectator name 3 or 4 images, which seems like a restraint, then have them name 9, which seems bigger, and then have them name nothing. So this ticked all the boxes for me. It's a very affordable, it's very good, it's very fun. If you liked what you saw or you liked what you heard, then definitely I'd recommend this as a purchase. MindFX has some really great products on there. I'm going to be reviewing a few of them in the coming weeks. So if ever you want to buy this, maybe wait for the other reviews and you can buy them all together if you like all of them. But definitely I would recommend the baby book if you're a mentalist and you want something super easy to do, super quirky, super fun, that is going to play big for any audience and is going to involve people and is going to be a fun effect to perform, then I thoroughly recommend the baby book, especially for the price. You will not be disappointed. What would I rate the baby book out of 10? I would give it a 9 on 10. It is a very fun and a very good effect. And yeah, I recommend it. 9 on 10 for me. So make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see everyone in my next review. Have a good one.